It means more than a 6 times increase in the price, industrial price of carbon, from its effective level, which is much lower than the headline level, the effective level, to the level that's committed in the agreement.
So yes, this was Smith-Carney saying 600% increase in the industrial carbon tax. And the agreement that he's talking about is the MOU that Danielle Smith and Smith-Carney signed last week. And the information I found is going to blow your fucking mind. So make sure to stick around. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. My apologies for being late, but I was going down this rabbit hole. So the video I just played, you heard Smith-Carney talked about increasing the price of the industrial carbon tax by 600%. So I started looking into it, seeing if it's true or not, if I heard that right, because, you know, as a new father, I don't sleep a lot. So maybe my ears were playing a trick. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And I was able to connect it to the Alberta MOU, and I got a massive conspiracy theory for the people out there. You have not heard this anywhere else. I even asked Grok, does Mike, because we worked together for a few hours, and then I'm like, what do you think of this conspiracy theory? And it said that it made sense to an AI.
Did you say you and Grok worked together for a few hours?
Yeah, I do research with Grok. I confirm my research. What should I say?
It's just funny because AI is like it's subtly changed the way we even talk about it, right? Like you talk 100%. About it like it's a person.
Yep.
Even though if you were just working on your laptop, you wouldn't say me and my laptop worked together on something for a few hours, right? But something about AI, it's weird. Like I'll ask Grok something, and it'll give me an answer, and I'll be like, okay, thank you. Like, why am I being polite to an AI? Like, what is the
you
point
want to be polite to the AI because you want them to remember that you were nice when they take over the world. You want them to remember that you were nice with
the same logic as why you're always nice to the nerd in high school, right? Because when he goes postal and starts shooting up the school, you want him to be like, oh no, that guy, he was nice to me when they were stuffing me into lockers.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that Grok is wrong all the time. So's ChatGPT, so's Gemini.
It's like confidently wrong too.
You need to know the subject already. I use it to, you know, Smith-Carney said this around this time about this subject. Can you find me the video? You know, I already know the subject through and through, but I want him to, let's say I gathered all the information and I give it to him. I'm like, do you see the dots I'm trying to connect there? Like, am I on crack just to have kind of something tell me that maybe it's okay? But, I agree. Reynold Rulo is saying Grok 4 is the only PhD in physics who wants to talk to me. But, you know, it does the job. If you understand the capacity and the lacks of AI, don't trust everything that AI tells you because it does not work for you. It still has people programming it, and it's very biased. Even Grok, that is the least woke of them all. I was talking about carbon tax, and as soon as I mentioned carbon tax, it's like, oh, there's no carbon tax in Canada. It's been decreased to zero. It's been canceled and put to zero. I'm like, so we have no industrial carbon tax, eh? Oh, my bad. I didn't think I had to. Fuck you. Oh yeah, fuck you. Of course.
X is not going on. Oh no, wait, X is going on. Oh yeah, you're right. X is going on. Would you like more examples of X going on, or you know, whatever X is? It's
I don't know. It's you need to know the subject that you're covering. Don't just trust. You can't just use Grok and say it's 100% accurate. All the information that it gives me is right. You can't. I go from the optic that it's wrong, and I need to prove it right.
Yes.
So
it's certainly a useful production, a tool for productivity. Absolutely. But
especially a one-man team like me, and one-man team like me that does hours of research every day and just wants to kind of make it easier. Yes, but don't trust what it tells you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
you can't start you can't start from zero and hope to
no,
learn.
no.
You know.
So can I take you guys down the rabbit hole I went to? And I apologize. I had a bunch of subjects I wanted to talk about, but this carbon tax kind of really fucked with my head because for the people out there that did not read the MOU, and it seems to be the vast majority of people out there did not read the MOU that was signed between Alberta and the federal government this week actually. We're still Sunday, right? And it's not that long. It'll probably take you 15 minutes to read, but it mentions net zero agenda. It talks about carbon tax. It talks about increasing a carbon tax, making it a provincial one instead of a federal one. It talks about implementing carbon capture. So we will be talking about this today. And you know, I made a quick post this. Well, it wasn't quick. It took me a while to do it, but I made a post of the top 5 things that was in that damn MOU. And just for the people out there, an MOU, we talked about this that week, last episode, but it's worth re-mentioning it again. An MOU is non-binding. This is literally a piece of paper that we agree that we will agree to something later on. It means nothing. It's literally as good as toilet paper when it comes to the legal system. 2, the BC and Native groups will still have veto powers. They call them consultation, but they will still decide if that pipeline will be built or not. And to put it into perspective, right after the signage, that photo op that Danielle Smith and Mark Carney had together last week, Mark Carney posted that he would not go forward without the approval of the BC government and the native band. So they still have a veto right. The Alberta will get a new provincial carbon tax starting on April 1st, and I will talk to you more about that because that's basically the whole episode, at least that I haven't planned right now, is about this. Alberta is set to implement carbon capture called the Pathway Projects. And basically, if you read the MOU, and I invite you guys to go, it's on the pm.gc.ca. You can find it there. It's literally 15 minutes of readings to do. But literally, Danielle Smith agreed to sign Alberta onto the Mark Carney's WEF green agenda. It is literally about reducing carbon to net zero. It is insane. When you read the document, you're just like, how our conservatives celebrating this makes no sense to me. So if we go from the beginning,
walk us through it, because I'm familiar with this. I don't know what the conspiracy theory aspect of it is.
I tie up everything together, and I did not like what I came. The conclusion I came with, I did not enjoy. And guys, just so you guys know, I just want to repeat it. Tomorrow we will be joined by Nadine Wellwood. She was here on Thursday, and people really, really seem to love her. I absolutely love this woman. I had like a 20-minute conversation with her earlier.
She's a firecracker for sure.
And Jason Levine is also going to be on the show tomorrow. So Nadine and Jason are going to be there because they were at the AGM over the weekend. So I'm not going to talk about the AGM much since we're going to cover it tomorrow. But all to say that I just tell you that Danielle Smith has been booed about 5 or 6 different times. You've heard of Jeff Roth. He's basically the biggest voice in the independence movement in Alberta. He actually reshared my post, the post that I was just saying, the top 5 things. He just reshared it, and I'm trying to get him on the show. So chances are, finger crossed, that he will join us on the show this week. And I'm also working, just so you guys know, to have Party, the lawyer that explained Bill C-63 on Jordan Peterson's podcast a couple of years ago, because we know that it's going to be retabled before Christmas. Sean Fraser our Justice Minister John Fraser has said so. So I am trying to get him on the show. I've been trying to get him on the show for at least a year. At least Bruce Party, exactly, Wilf. That's exactly right. I've been trying to get him on the show to talk to me for a year or two, but I don't know the guy. But I met somebody that knows, that records with him all the time. So we could have constitutional lawyer Bruce Party on the show, which I've been wanting to have him for a while. So
That'd be sweet.
Yep. So let's start. I'm going to re-show the full video of Mark Carney. It's only like 30 seconds long, just to kind of give you some context as to where I started with the dem conspiracy. It was not supposed to be a conspiracy rabbit hole. It was just supposed to be research, but I went down I went down a rabbit hole and found a conspiracy. So here's Mark Carney telling us how much more we're going to be paying for the industrial carbon tax.
But at its core is tightening the tier system, which is the industrial carbon price system here in Alberta, to a level of at least $130 with a pass price from there. What does that mean? It means more than a 6 times increase in the price, industrial price of carbon, from its effective level, which is much lower than the headline level, the effective level, to the level that's committed in the agreement.
So 600%. So basically, he just said on camera, as per the agreement that they did, like the agreement that they keep on talking about is the MOU that they made with Alberta. So I was listening to this and I'm like, okay, what the fuck does that even mean? Well, here's what it means. So right now, if you look at the price of carbon, you're looking at about like industrial carbon tax on the federal level. Now that it's supposed to be zero, like the consumer is zero, there's still industrial carbon tax that was never removed, right? It's sitting at $80 a ton as we speak right now. And the plan, as per Mark Carney, he wants to raise it to $170 a ton by the end of 2030. So he wants to more than double it. So I'm not sure where I was not able to prove the 600% that he's talking about. I'm thinking the only thing that I can think of is that under Justin Trudeau, when it first started, it was around $20 a ton. And now if it ends up at 170, it's almost 6 times. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not quite, yep. But it's, no, actually it would be more. So I'm thinking that he's referring to a number under Justin Trudeau, but we all know that he was the mastermind behind Justin Trudeau. And so keep that in mind. Right now, we're sitting at $80 a ton. This represents right now about 16 cents a liter more that we're paying per liter of gas at the pump. That's what it costs the average Canadian as it stands right now. The goal, if you look at the MOU, the goal is to raise the price, and I have it highlighted on my screen here. If you look at the MOU, it will say that the goal is to raise the price of carbon at $130 a ton, which would bring it to around 28.6 cents a liter increase. So that would be what we pay in taxes. So right now we're paying around 16 cents or so at $80 a ton. That's how it translates on a per liter at the pump, like what you and I will pay. If we bring it to 130 a ton, that means we will increase it by about 12 cents, bringing it to 28.6 cents a liter. That's the increase that we will be paying at the pump. And as he said, in that was reported by even iPolitics.ca reported this is something that Mark Carney's been talking about for a while now. He wants to raise the price of carbon to $170 a ton by 2030. So by within the next 5 years or so.
Where did he say that?
I can find you. I have actually an article. He said it multiple times.
The exact one, but just like roughly, it was an interview.
No,
was it his book or?
No. He's spoken about this multiple times. Like he's been, I could find at least 5 different references just from this year alone. But here's the latest article. If you look, this article was published on November 5th, 2025 on iPolitics. Everybody knows iPolitics.
Yep.
And I'm just going to do a quick search. And he is referring to 100 right here. So despite Carney's cancellation of the consumer carbon tax, the federal government still sets a goal for each ton of CO2 equivalent emitted by polluter. Under the current schedule, the price will annually increase by $15 a ton each year until the end of the decade, when the price is set to hit $170 a ton. So article from iPolitics that's dated from November 5th, 2025, but I could find at least 5 other places where he mentioned it. He said it in the House of Commons. He said it a bunch of times. This is nothing new. But at $170 a ton by 2030, that means that the Canadians will be paying just over 39 cents a liter at the pump. 39 fucking cents in industrial carbon tax. And we all know that he's going to be putting the consumer carbon tax back. We've been speaking about this for months, right? He just dialed it down. You like to use that scrolling analogy all the time. So he shoved it down to 0. But we all know why he didn't remove it, because that was going to go up at one point.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, if the price of gas goes up, then the price of everything is going to go up, right? All the cost of every good is going to go up, because that's going to factor into the transportation costs now, and that's going to be passed on to pretty much every product that we buy.
And the taxes, don't forget, the taxes are a percentage, so they're not set in stone, right? Yeah. If your liter is costing $2 to produce, and you're adding a 39 cents increase, you know that it's right now, it's per today's money, it's per today's price, it's going to translate to 39 cents. 5 years from now, is that still going to be 39, or is it going to be more like 50 cents, considering that how our economy is doing and how bad our dollar's doing? So you know this is all going to change the pricing of this structure. And that's the tier. You know, he referred to the tier system in the video. That's what the tier system is. $15 a ton every year until the end of the decade, until we hit $170 a ton. So remember this, $170
wild, man.
That's 39 cents a liter that it's going to cost to produce more. Now, what is interesting is the other thing that they talk about in the MOU is something referred to as the carbon capture, utilization, and storage. So you know that low carbon production, that low carbon oil that they want to produce, that green crap, the WEF green agenda that Mark Carney's been pushing forever. Well, this is what it's all about. So the idea is to capture the carbon that is in oil. In a way, you refine it, you capture that carbon, and then the gas that comes out, the oil and gas that comes out, has a smaller carbon footprint. That's the idea behind it. And one of the projects that is in the works right now that the MOU speaks about is something called the Pathway Carbon Capture Project, which, just so you guys know, will cost $16.5 billion to implement over the next decade. And that is why they want to raise that tax. Because if you remember, if you guys watched the announcement by Danielle Smith last week, in one of the questions that she took, she spoke about how, carbon capture has grown on me over the years. I didn't believe in it in the past, but now it's grown on me, and we will fund this through taxation with the carbon tax. That's why they're selling the idea of a carbon tax, is to pay for the private development of the project called Pathways, which will take carbon.
Is the pipeline?
No.
Oh, that's not even.
No.
Oh,
Imagine,
Jesus.
No. Carbon. So that what we're talking about. Imagine that you refine your oil and gas, right? This is one of the process of refinement. You're adding the carbon capture into the process in refining your oil and gas before it even hits a pipeline. Everything I'm talking about right now is we're assuming that by 2040, like the MOU says, that there will be a pipeline built, because the MOU gives the government up to 2040 to approve and have that pipeline built.
So
they need to
it's not gonna
find
get built.
Oh, no. It's just, I'm trying to identify. The whole reason here is I started by saying that the MOU is not legally binding, right? it's a piece of paper I could literally wipe my ass with, and it's a lot worse than just using toilet paper because it's filled with ink. But that's how important that piece of paper is. Though the problem is that the reason I talk about the MOU is the fact that Danielle Smith exposed herself. By signing such a piece of paper, she basically says what she really stands for. That's why I took so much time over the weekend to make that post, to explain it to people, and that today I'm bringing this up again, and that tomorrow we'll talk about the AGM, because the people that are at the AGM, the Albertans that normally supports the UCP party, are very politically aware. And as you'll hear, I can't say what Jason is going to say because I haven't spoken to him today. I did to Nadine, so I have a very good idea of what she's going to say tomorrow. The reaction was not great. Although the conservatives, I called out a lot of I ripped into Mario over the weekend because he produced a piece of garbage. He produced 2 pieces of garbage. And I'm talking about Mario Zelaya. He posted some bullshit and I called him up. I'm like, bro, instead of talking this nonsense, how about you read the MOU and stop basing your opinion on a 15-second clip? He just, man, I'm really seeing how people are just supporting the people that they like without questioning them. And yet we were both big proponents of Danielle Smith. We've talked about how great of a job she was doing, but I cannot get over what she did this week. I cannot forgive what she said. I just can't.
Yeah,
still there.
Yeah. I've been a fan of her. I thought she did a good job. But it seems I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I followed it on the news. It does appear she didn't get the best reception there at the AGM. I'd be interested to hear the insider's take there from Nadine and Jason.
There's a good reason why I'm inviting them, because I don't want to believe what I'm seeing. So did she really get booed? Because I saw the video, but was it taken out of context? I could easily add a boo in the back of the video to make it sound like she's getting booed. I could do that. But I trust Jason, I trust Nadine to tell us the reality. But to go back to what we were talking about, so we have a potential by the end of 2035 of an added 39 cents a liter of gas. So production, the carbon tax at $170 a barrel, $170 a ton will cost 39 cents a liter on top of the price of production. We know, as per the MOU, that they want to implement the pathway carbon, the pathway project that they called it, which is a carbon capture project. And we, as per the estimates that I can find, it will cost $16.5 billion to implement over the next 10 years. What's messed up is this. Out of the 16, we'll call it 16, well, it's 16.5. So let's call it 16.5 billion. Out of the 16.5, half, 8.25 billions will be funded by Canadian taxpayers' money. So not Alberta, not the private sector, but Canadian taxpayers' money. And they will claim this as credits. But who do you think pays for credits given to private entity? Taxpayers' money. So 100% funded by taxpayers. That's $8.25 billion. Out of the 16.5, there's between 3.2 billion to 5.3 billion dollars that will be paid by Albertans, directly taken from the industrial carbon tax, which, if you heard what Danielle Smith said during her announcement last week, it will be basically, they will use the tax in order to pay for the implementation of the pathway. So 8.25 billions will be paid by Canada taxpayers, Canadian taxpayers. 3.2 to 3.2 to 5.3 billion by Alberta's carbon tax, and the private sector will pay between 6.3 to 8.1 billion dollars. So they will pay less than a half of the price of implementation. Yet, how much do you think it's estimated that they're going to make a year out of this new carbon capture? Give me a price. How much do you think they're going to make?
Like how much they think that they're going to bring in taxes, like from
No,
this
no, no, no.
this.
Let me rephrase
They
that.
think they're going to make
Profit.
money. They think they're going to make money. They think they're going to make profit.
They don't think
Oh,
they're going to make
shit.
profit. They will make profit. And the company, by they, let me say, so Pathways is a consortium between Canadian Natural, Cenovus, ConocoPhillips, Imperial, MEG, and Suncor. Their estimates as we speak right now is to make up to about $2.5 billion a year. So as per the investment that we're talking about, they would remake their money within 3 years. They would pretty much have remade the money that it will cost them to implement this. And it's Canadians and Albertans that are flipping the bill for this. But you know where it becomes interesting is, will this cost more? Because obviously they're adding a step between our oil and gas production and the selling of that oil and gas. They estimate in about 5 to 6 cents on top of the 39 cents that I was talking about earlier. So in the MOU, it is stated that the government of Canada and Alberta will get to an agreement to raise a new tax, a provincial industrial carbon tax that will be set to $130 a ton when the federal government's tax is at $80 a ton right now. So that means for the Albertans out there, it is estimated that if they respect the MOU by April 1st, you will have an agreement between Alberta and Ottawa to put a carbon tax, a provincial industrial carbon tax to $130 a ton, which means 28.6 cents a liter that you guys will be paying at the pump. It will raise another 5 to, they're estimating, let's call it a smaller number, another 5 cents on top of that by the end of 2035. So by the end of 2035, we're really looking at least 45 cents, give or take, more at the pump over the next 10 years, just in taxes for the carbon tax. And that is if the consumer carbon tax doesn't get raised, because right now we're just talking industrial. So industrial will raise the industrial, and the capture of carbon will raise the price of about 45 cents a liter at the Canadian pump.
It's so like when is this going to be like? Hold on, I'm not sure I'm understanding. Like that's crazy. That's a what is the plan? Is he going to put this in place right away, or when are they claiming that they're going to put the?
Oh, let me.
This is a garbage plan. Like there's no way people are going to be okay with that.
People don't read the paperwork. People do not take the time to actually read the documentation. So that's the MOU that was signed. Not 170, but 130. So that's the MOU that was signed between Alberta, Danielle Smith, and the federal government. And right here. So it says the tier system will ramp up to a minimum effective credit price of $130 a ton. The parties will conclude an agreement on an industrial carbon pricing on or before April 1st, 2026.
Yeah, I'm reading this now. That's crazy, man. Like what is the obsession with putting a price on carbon? Why are they doing? They're basically they're tying our own hands behind our back and sending our economy out to fight. Because a country's economy, it's basically competition between the rest of the world, right? You could think of it as a giant Royal Rumble or something. And Carney's they're tying our hands behind our back and then send us out to fight.
Let me make it worse, because right now by 2030 we're talking about
there's
39. Oh no, it gets worse. It's a lot worse, and the conspiracy is the answer to your question. Okay. I will tell you what I believe is going on here. So 39 cents by 2030, sorry, just in carbon tax if we do not touch the that's just the industrial. If we don't touch the consumer tax, you're looking at 39 cents a liter more. You're looking at a 5 to 6 cents more per liter just to cover the cost on top of the cost of the tax for the carbon capture. Because again, it's an added step in our refining or processing of our oil and gas. Now, the question that I asked Grok is, can you, by answering yes or no only, will Alberta be able to compete against countries like the US that will not implement a carbon tax or carbon capture technology? And the answer is very simple. No, they won't. It estimates. Hold on here. It estimates. It's estimating that it will add a 20 to 30% extra cost on our price of oil and gas, estimating that Alberta risks losing 10 to 15% of their shares to US exports. But I only asked that question on the US and Canada because the US buys a lot of our oil and gas, right? So why the fuck would they buy our oil and gas if we're going to cost 20 to 30% more than them just because of the taxation that we're putting on top of it? And where it gets even more messed up is I'm like, hey, Grok, how about the world economy? Like on the world stage, same fucking thing. We will price ourselves out of the world market because you look at places like Saudi Arabia is actually it's subsidizing $10 a ton. So where we are going to add $170 a ton just in tax, Saudi Arabia is removing $10 a ton, and the US is not implementing any of this fucking garbage. So we are literally killing ourselves out of the world market, and the US will not be buying our oil and gas if we are implementing these measures. And Danielle Smith, as much as I said it a million times, as much as it's not a legally binding document, the fact that they're even proposing that is absolutely insane. Alberta has the third largest reserve of oil and gas in the world, and they do not want to be competitive on the world stage. Why would they be doing that? I think this is where the conspiracy theory comes in, and that is where the alarm is for you guys. What has Carney been saying over the past few months? That we need to separate ourselves from the US and become our best customer. Who else is going to buy gas 20, 30% higher than the world's market?
Well,
Canadians.
I mean, gas is sold at a global price. Like no one will buy it. We'll have to sell at whatever the world market price is.
No, you're not listening to what. No. You're not listening to what I'm saying. We will price ourselves out of the world's market. So nobody on the world stage is going to buy our gas because it's going to be 20 to 30% higher than anywhere else because of the taxes that we put on. So the US will not buy our products anymore. So the only people that will buy that product is Canadians.
I think that refers to us paying gas, the taxes that we'll pay on our gas, which is obviously bad enough.
No, it doesn't matter. The tax is going to be taken at the source.
Well, they won't add, taxes aren't paid on the global markets. But
those taxes will translate to a 20 to 30% more expensive gas on the world market. The price that we are going to sell it will be 20 to 30% higher.
No, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think there's no taxes on global markets. We're going to pay it. The consumer, Canadian consumer, we're going to pay it for sure.
This is industrial. No, hold on. You're mixing the two different taxes here. This is the tax that we're putting on industry. So it doesn't matter that we're the one buying it or not. It literally is like us adding a 20 to 30% increase on everything that we do in order to pay for the pathway project. That is why they're implementing that tax.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're doing. I don't understand like is carbon capture technology, is that even proven? Like I'm pretty sure that's not a proven technology.
No. All I can tell you is I didn't have enough time to do research into the companies that I told you earlier, and the companies. And if somebody knows, I would love to hear about you guys. But the companies that are involved in that pathway project are Canadian Natural, Cenovus, ConocoPhillips, Imperial, MEG, and Suncor. I did not have time to look into Mark Carney's Brookfield investment because I don't know if you noticed, but they have a company that's between it costs them about $2 to $3 billion to buy a company that does carbon capture, that does that technology. So I'm not sure. I did not have time to confirm if any of those companies are somehow related to Brookfield. I don't know, but it wouldn't fucking surprise me. But the whole point of this is that they are, as per all those taxes, as per all the information that I'm finding, and I hope that you guys can prove me wrong. If you guys know somebody out there that is an expert on this, I would love to have a conversation with him and to be proved wrong. I hope that the numbers I have are proven wrong, but those numbers are all provided and verified by Statistic Canada. They're all provided by federal sources. They're not I don't use post on X here. I actually go to the source of the people we're supposed to trust. And I'm saying we're supposed to trust here. For the people that are listening to this, not looking, there's air quotes here. Massive air quotes.
Yeah. I mean, if they think that, if they think that they can sell their oil and gas for more than the global price because it's cleaner, that's nonsense. That's no one's going to do that.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole point. It never made sense. We cannot compete.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
If we're adding a 20 to 30% cost on our gas for no fucking reason, we cannot compete, and that's the whole point. So the only reason that I can see that Mark Carney has been pushing the idea that Canada will have to become its best client is that that's the only way they're going to sell that fucking oil and gas is to us. Because they can easily stop importing gas from other countries and just say, we need to buy Canadian. Yeah, we need to buy Canadian.
If our only customers are ourselves, that's not, that is not, we're going to do very poorly because just the Canadian economy does not use that much oil and gas compared to how much.
But have you seen the plug?
Have, right? We could be selling.
Have you seen the meme? Have you seen the meme of the electric plug that's connected into itself? It's like a power bar, and instead of being plugged in the wall, it's like plugged in itself.
Energy, free energy.
That's Canada for you. That's the plan of Mark Carney. So again, I will tell the people out there, if you think that I'm wrong, if you know somebody that clearly knows more than I do, because I was doing some research and I just ended up going down a fucking rabbit hole of motherfucker. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But if you guys know of an expert, put it in the comments section. For the people that are always here, you know that I will happily be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong on this one, but unfortunately, I think that I'm right. And I'm just going to answer a quick question. Somebody's asking, yes, Ghost Time, I'm not retarded. I do not have a speech impediment. I am French. Just saying.
Yeah, he's having a stroke right now.
Yeah, don't jinx me, man. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. Lomo says EU, Japan, North Korea. Well, I don't think North Korea. Only countries that would pay more based on their aggressive decarbonization targets. I guess in theory, Europe might pay more, maybe, but this pipeline's going to Asia, so it's the wrong direction. I guarantee you, China's not paying more. China does not give two shits about.
Don't fucking use coal.
The carbon
use coal.
Yeah. The carbon footprint of its oil and gas. They do not give the slightest shit.
No, they'll buy coal from India. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If it's cheaper, no. They literally produce 30% of the world's emission. Canada produces 1% or less. So let's argue on the 1%. Let's call it 1% of the world's CO2 emission is produced by Canada. and we need to jack our price by 20 to 30% to compete with China. That whole thing makes zero fucking sense. The only thing that this is doing is making money for people that are not you and I. Because remember, $16.5 billion that it's going to cost, the pathway project is going to cost. And those are estimate pre-construction. Those things have not been put in place. And we all fucking know how that works. It's always more expensive than, especially when we're talking about taxpayers' money, it's always more expensive. But the point is that out of the $16.5 billion, more than a half, the estimate is between 51 to 62% of the costs will be covered by either Canadian taxpayers' money through credit or directly to Albertans through that $130 a ton tax. So literally 40% of it is going to be paid by the private sector, and the private sector's estimate is about up to $2.5 billion a year in profit, not revenue, profit.
Yeah, that sounds real dodgy. I don't know about that at all.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I haven't really looked into the MOU to that except I'm going to do it tonight and tomorrow, especially if we're going to talk about this again tomorrow night with Jason and Nadine, because that's crazy, man. If that's what if they think that the rest of the world is going to pay more because it's cleaner, quote unquote cleaner, that's nonsense. It's a great comment here by oh fuck, Albat Witch Wiggler 6905. It says China just signed onto this climate alarmist BS so they could sell us batteries and solar cells. Yes, that's the only time China does pretend to give a shit about climate, emissions a little bit, in that they'll shame the West for it because they know that we love guilt over here, and if someone's gonna shit on us, that we're all over it. But that's the only thing they actually care about. Yeah, they love it because they can make solar cells and batteries and they are profiting handsomely from the climate narrative.
It's Wiggler, not what is it? Wiggler? I said
I'll bat witch Wiggler. Alberta? No, I don't know. Ladies man, bro. 695.
There you go. But yeah, it's one of those things that I do a shit ton of research, and I got sucked into a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I can see why. I kind of want to go down. I'm trying. I've got it open on my tab, and as we're talking, I'm scanning down.
Yeah, because 600%, I'm like, 600%? How the fuck? And then I found a connection to why Carney is always saying that we will become our best customer. Yeah, because nobody else is going to buy our fucking oil and gas. So we're literally going to kill ourselves by adding 20 to 30% on that woke agenda bullshit. And for the people out there that I think I'm full of shit, go read the MOU. I have it pulled on one of my screens over there. It's fucked up. It'll take you 15 minutes. Don't believe what Daniel Smith is saying about it. Don't believe what Mark Carney is saying about it. Go read the damn document. Literally just Google just Google Ottawa or federal government Alberta MOU, and you will find it. It's very simple, but they have climate change in there. They have net zero, carbon net zero. They talk about carbon tax, like I showed. They talk about carbon capture, as I showed. So
I think
it literally sounds. If you follow the WEF, if you read Values by Mark Carney, you read that document, you're like, they're talking about, like, one of the first things they say, Canada and Alberta remain committed to achieving net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2050. This is literally the fourth sentence of the document. The first line after the small paragraph intro. Canada and Alberta remain committed to achieving zero greenhouse gas emission by 2050.
That's crazy.
If that does not blow your mind,
it's just honestly, it's the wrong direction. I think a lot of people have noticed, and like I certainly have, and I'm starting to see other people noticing, just like on social media and whatnot. The narrative, the discourse around climate change has definitely seem to, I don't know, change or slow down over the last 6 months. Like the Bill Gates thing, when he comes out and says, "Oh, all of a sudden it's not a big deal." Like it's almost like the grift is up, and I think smart people, or at least people who are in the know, are sort of positioning themselves. A lot of it's not going to come out ever and say, "Oh yeah, it was all." I guess it's not a big deal. They'll still squeeze, try to get as much blood from that stone as they can, and they'll move on to a new grift or whatnot. But it clearly feels like it's on its last legs. And then you've got Carney committing for the next 25 years, committing our economy to net zero. That's crazy. 2 years from now, people will be like, "Fuck, net zero. Why would you even bother with that shit?" Meanwhile, we're committed to 2050. That's nonsense.
It's absolutely insane. And by the way, guys, for the new people that are out there, make sure to like, make sure to comment. The whole point of this show is to create civil discourse. So we don't even care if you agree or disagree with us, if you're from the left or you're from the right. The whole goal is to have civil discourse. We want to be able to talk about this stuff that other media out there is not talking about. You will not see this type of conversation anywhere else. And if you join us, you'll see we bash the right, we bash the left. Although Rob's an anti-woke liberal, I'm a Christian conservative. I don't agree with anybody that's out there. I think they're all part of the same agenda. And that's kind of what I'm trying to show here is Danielle Smith, the people that she was sold to us as the savior of Alberta. She signed a document that's basically the WEF green agenda word for word. And she's trying to sell that as the solution for Alberta. And you'll see, we'll talk about this tomorrow. We will have Nadine Wellwood and Jason Levine to talk about the AGM because they were both there. But she got booed. She got called out. And I'm really curious to see what the next step is for Alberta, because I think that what she did this week, she exposed herself as a federalist, and she even admitted on stage at the AGM that the whole point, like, she wants to stay within Canada. She wants a sovereign Alberta within Canada. So she doesn't want independence of Alberta. Yeah. She actually admitted it on stage. So guys, if you're new, just make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, guys. Just make sure to come back, because that's why we do what we do. We want those comments. And men, if you disagree with us, please let us know. It's all about civil discourse. We don't rip. We don't call people.
Well, and here's one too, and this is a good comment from Dan 17B. Says, "You guys are not getting all this. Project will produce 20,000 jobs, and when complete, 1,000 ongoing jobs." That's it's a good point. I think you got to look at the whole package, right? There's got to be some benefits in there, and that is one. Honestly, I admit that I haven't done as deep a dive as Nico has, but I can definitely see all the rabbit holes here. Certainly, I think tonight after the show, I'm going to spend some time really getting into it, and also tomorrow, because I want to be pretty informed on this topic. I think tomorrow night's going to be an excellent show. It's going to be a really good conversation. So, guys, especially if you're new, we've got a couple guests tomorrow night that are both great content. Nadine's a firecracker. Jason's a smart guy. We're going to basically have this conversation, dig deeper into it. We're going to talk about the AGM at Danielle Smith's, the UCP AGM, I believe. So it's going to be an excellent chat. Tune in. As for your comment, Dan, yeah, I mean, in theory, if those jobs are there, that's good. 20,000 jobs, 20,000 jobs, and I'm happy for it. Again, I'm going to take a deep dive and sort of see the pros and cons, but I mean, if that's all we get is 20,000 jobs, I'm not sure, that's not 20. That offsets.
Yes. I don't know where you got Dan. I would happily, if you want to send me your information where you got that from, because all the numbers I could find was 10,000 new jobs. But at the same time, to me, this is the same thing as adding a bunch of bureaucrats to the federal government. It's just going to end up costing Canadians more. It's not okay for us to pay 20 to 30% more for oil and gas, or to charge 20 to 30% more for oil and gas just to create 10,000 jobs. And, Trevor Benson is bang on. This is basically where I was going with this. 20,000 jobs with 700,000 homeless. Right now, the average Canadian worker pays 42.3% of their income to some type of tax. federal, municipal, or provincial. And I've done the calculation. It's between 91% to 103% of the average Canadian salary is gone for necessities, where this is no vacation, this is no cottage time, this is literally paying for your food, your rent, to pay for your insurance, to pay for your car, to pay for however you get to your place of work, cell phone, internet, and one kid in high school. This is the calculation I based it on, because that's pretty standard, although we're closer to like just under two people for family. But all to say, if you combine everything, the average Canadian is paying somewhere between 91 to 103% of their salary for necessities, like at least what we would consider necessities here in Canada. So they don't have the extra money to spend anywhere else. Like the average Canadian is already struggling. The average 20-year-old, 30-year-old is not going to own a house anytime soon. And now you're telling us that we have an increase of 20-30% at the pump. And as you said earlier, this is not just at the pump. Every single product is transported to some type of extent. Some is a lot longer, some is just around the corner. But every single, who do you think is going to pay for that? It's us. Not only is our gas going to be more expensive when we want to fill our car, but it's going to be more expensive for the food's going to be more expensive. Every single product that you buy is going to be more expensive. The services. You think that your plumber that's going to come fix your sink is not going to add another 20-30% if that's what it costs him? Of course he will. So who the fuck pays this? The average Canadian that's already paying 42.3% of their income to some type of tax. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
We cannot afford to be spending more and more and more of our money in fucking taxes to build a fucking project that has no place to exist. Why the fuck would we prevent ourselves from being competitive on the world's market when we could literally be one of the top three, if not, let's call it top 5 superpower in the world? But we are pricing ourselves out of the world's market for green policies. Are you fucking kidding me? Like this is where we're at right now, and this is what that piece of garbage is pushing. Absolutely fucking insane. Absolutely insane. I can't believe this shit.
New Dog Productions also responding to Dan's comments says that's assuming there is a project and then you are looking at most of those jobs going to carbon capture, which can't produce money. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand the carbon capture. Like, how is that supposed to make money? What's the? I'm like,
it's not.
It sounds pretty pie in the sky. Like, and I'm sure it won't even work. But what are they claiming that it like? You guys that are listening out there, does anyone know what the theory behind this is? How does carbon capture make money? So I get that you capture the carbon. Do they sell this, or do they think that they can then sell that oil and gas for more because they've captured carbon? Because if that's garbage.
This is what Mark Carney is selling the idea, and if you listen to him, he talks about it all the time. Listen to his book. Listen, just read his book. He talks about this shit all the time. He believes that there needs to be a price on carbon. Remember, he said this multiple times, that climate change needs to be considered in every single financial decisions that Canada makes.
No, he's definitely said that. Now, price on carbon though is a vague term, and it means lots of different things. I wonder. It's
a tax. It's a tax grab. As per the estimate that I found, the project is going to cost somewhere around 16.5 billion, as per the estimates that we know right now. But chances are it's going to be way more expensive than that. And as per my calculation, there's no way for the private sector to make money if taxpayers are not flipping the bill from 51 to 62% of the cost of the project. The only reason they're making money is because we're paying them to make money. So literally, we will tax ourselves into turning a profit for the private sector. It's absolutely insane. That whole project is absolutely fucking insane. I cannot believe that people are not screaming about this, because if this guy, just a regular dude that does a lot of research, could find this, like, what the fuck are people doing out there? This information is right there. Super easy to find.
Timberwolf says it's bullshit. Oil and gas are made of carbon. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Why What are you trying to do? Make oil and gas carbon neutral? This is a nonsense idea. It is fucking carbon. It's literally what it is.
What did I say? What did I tell you? Read the MOU. The first sentence after the introduction paragraph
net zero
says
net zero is a pipe dream. It's not. It's even if
by
it's not
2020 by
technologically
2050
possible.
No,
yeah, it's not technologically possible to do that, and there's no point to it. All it's going to do is suck hundreds of billions of dollars out of the economy. That's it. And honestly, and like I was saying, I really think that this particular version of the grift is on its last legs. The smart countries are already, like, you don't hear a lot of the bigger countries even pretending to care about it anymore. The United States doesn't really, China doesn't really, because they understand that the grift is up and they're moving on to the next one. Meanwhile, Carney's going down full speed ahead to 2050 to get net zero. It doesn't make any sense.
And Louis is probably bang on. They aren't screaming because they're watching football and don't give a shit or brainwashed. I know that there's people like you guys out there that do believe in this, that do want to get more information about this, that will talk about this. And that is why I do what I do. I won't talk for you, Rob, but the only reason I spend most of my days just posting content, because that's what I do day in, day out, is to try to inform the people out there that don't have hours a day to do that research. So build trust so that people trust me to give an opinion that's been researched. But at the same time, I want to give you enough information that you doubt me. I don't want you to believe me. Doubt me. Please doubt me, but go read the MOU. If I can get more people to read that fucking piece of garbage, you will understand what Danielle Smith is trying to sell. You will understand why she was getting booed at the AGM. And I was told 5 or 6 different times she was booed. We'll talk about it tomorrow more because we have 2 people that were there. But there's a good reason why she was selling the idea of bringing Castle Doctrine in Alberta. I was told behind the scene that she is simply in a reaction phase right now. She's trying to analyze damage control of that MOU. What has this done to her base? Because the people that voted her in wanted something different than what was there in the first place. I personally believe she committed suicide with even proposing that MOU. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. We'll see what our experts are saying tomorrow, but it is definitely worth for you guys out there to look into what I talked about today, because it's insane. If what I'm finding is true, this is such a grift that, like you said, everybody else in the world is giving up on that grift, yet Carney is tripling down on it and will destroy the remaining of our economy and our oil and gas industry to turn a profit. Because that's basically all I can see right now is those guys are going to make money, but those guys are not Canadians.
No. Yeah, no, it's definitely yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. As Timberwolf says, it's like removing hydrogen from water. Yeah, that's what it's like. It's literally it's not H2O anymore. Yes, it's made of carbon. You can't make it a carbon neutral thing. The burning, that's the entire point. I don't understand what they're doing. But yeah, I'm gonna do a dive
listen to this.
Deep as you did there into this.
Listen to this. So in the MOU, it says construction and financing of the world's largest carbon capture, utilization, and storage project pathways for the purpose of making Alberta oil amongst the lowest carbon intensity produced barrel of oil in the world.
Who cares? And how much carbon, how much energy do they use powering this bullshit? With the extraction and storage, where are you storing it? What are you doing with it? None of this makes any sense. I'm gonna look into this pathways thing too, because I need to understand this technology, because I'm pretty sure it's snake oil. I don't think.
The videos are there. I should have taken the video. I didn't. I should have brought the videos, because I've seen the videos. You can go see pathways and the technology that they're going to use. Yeah. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's snake oil. It's just like in my head. All I could see is all the system that they're attaching to the refining of it is just ching, 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 ching. That's all I could think of is dollar sign. It's just, let's invent something that is not useful at all in order to tax us to pay for it in order to turn a profit. That's all I could see. It's all bullshit. All fucking bullshit.
Yeah. No, it'll be an excellent show tomorrow. Excellent conversation, guys. You're going to want to tune in for that. But we're going to pin this one for tonight.
Hold on. Yep. I got to cut you off because before we do, we need to speak about the sponsor of the day. So
yes,
today's episode of The Political Orphans is brought to you by Gabble, the world's first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to sit back and watch, or you can jump in and actually debate other people. That's what I do. You can find me on that app at 6 p.m. most days. I just like to debate people just like I do here. So if you guys want to debate other people, go download Gabble, look in the description below. Our affiliate link is there. And downloading the app is like supporting the show because it's a sponsor at the end of the day. We believe in what they do and they believe in what we do. So if you want to support it, download Gabble. And I invite you to do it because that's a skill that we all need to have, to be able to debate others. Because if you want to try to influence what's going on right now, or at least inform the people around you, believe me, be ready to be challenged because people will call bullshit. I've been called all the names in the world. So knowing how to debate people is a skill that is very valuable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, guys. Lots of new faces. Lots of hopefully you guys come back. Remember to like and share the streams. And if you really want to support the show, you can become members through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. And that will, of course, help support the show, help support independent media, which is, I guess, what we are. Of course, another way you can support the show is just come back. Keep coming back. Keep throwing comments on. It feels like we kind of caught the algorithm or something because we're getting lots of new people in the last couple of days. So, guys, hopefully you guys stick around. And tomorrow's chat, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be excellent. We're going to have a couple of great guests. We're going to basically pick up this conversation where we left off. Other than that, we'll see you folks tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time, 9 Pacific. No, 5 Pacific. I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point.
We'll see you tomorrow at 8 Eastern time. Have a good night, guys. See you then. What a twat.